don't know what they should eat.
Mm.
But when they work with me, they have the confidence because I'm telling them exactly what you should eat based on how they test. So as that example is used about fats, these people might be off of cabbage and pumpkin and apples and stuff like that for just 2 weeks, you see. So whether it's a specific carbohydrate diet or the ketogenic diet, I mean, don't get me started. There's so many things I have to say about the ketogenic diet. But anyway, and none of which are positive. But the thing of it is we need to make sure that we're getting energy from our food. And whatever diet somebody is on, what I will always say is what matters most is can you digest it? Because that's, in fact, what I'm testing for. So it matters most to me, can you digest what it is you are eating? And if not, I need to give you certain areas of your body a little bit of a break point, or like a little bit of a rest or a vacation for 2 weeks, and then we can add some other foods back. So the most difficult thing before they see me is they don't know what they should eat. Once they work with me and I tell them what diet to be on, the most difficult question just might be something like, how long do I have to do this?
Yeah.
You know, my husband or my spouse eats differently. It's hard. What do I do when I go out to eat? And we always make modifications. And I'm very, very understanding of life and flexibility. And, for example, holidays, I tell people, enjoy yourself. Eat whatever you want. Just don't eat as much of it, but enjoy yourself. Don't be so stressed about that. Your body will be okay. I think that people are so used to being so strict that when they work with me, I'm kind of like opening things up a little bit more than they were used to. As an example, the FODMAPs diet is very strict. And so I might tell people, no, I want you eating those things. And they're like, but I didn't think I was supposed to have any grain. I'm like, you could have oat bran. It's okay. So I think that's the thing, is they're just confused. That's probably the thing, is to get them to rethink and go about something in a new way. That might be the most difficult thing, I would say.
And I think it's hard because, and part of it is you don't know what you don't know, right? So if you've been eating the same thing all the time, you might not be able to tell exactly what it is that's irritating you or giving you those symptoms. So when you do a 2-week rest from some of those things that could be causing the challenges, they probably don't even realize like how good they can feel either.
Yeah, that's a great point that you bring up. And also, I didn't really say this, but the reason why I would have somebody avoid apples or cucumbers or cabbage or any of those is because there are certain foods, even plants like those foods, that they make the liver work a little bit harder. Meaning when we eat them, it makes that gallbladder constrict a little bit. So it's not that they're bad foods. It's just that they put more of a burden on that stressed organ, like the liver or the gallbladder in this example. But yeah, I mean, so many times people think, oh, well, I always eat this and it never bothered me. But that'd be like saying, my dad died at the age of 69 because he was just a massive alcoholic, and he drank from 10 a.m. on. He would look at the clock. Once it hit 10 a.m., in his head he thought, okay, I can drink whatever I want now. It's early enough to start drinking. It's not too late. It's not too early. 10 o'clock's the right time. But the point I'm trying to make is he drank the same thing, Pabst Blue Ribbon, and it never bothered him for the first 20, 30 years, right? But then all of a sudden, now it started affecting his liver. And so there becomes an accumulation point that if somebody's eating a stressed food or a stressor or around a certain type of chemical stress or environmental stress, the body can only take so much before it can't handle it anymore.
Right. And so when you have them, you bring them in, you talk to them, you suggest a diet. Now, there are supplements that you recommend for them as well to kind of coincide with what your diet recommendations are?
Absolutely. So when patients work with me, I have them on approximately 4 formulas. I hardly ever go higher than that. One thing I could say to the listeners is that most people are taking too many supplements. Believe me, I have grocery bags come in here full, packed to the rim, full of like 15, 20, 18, it just depends. There's so many supplements people are taking, and it's ridiculous because they're just guessing. They don't know what they need or what they don't need. As an example, if I find and test somebody that cannot properly digest fat, but yet here they are taking a vitamin E, a vitamin D, a vitamin A. These are all fat-based vitamins. If somebody can't digest fat, but they're taking those fat-based vitamins, that's not helping them whatsoever, you see?
Right.
So the 4 formulas that I have them are based on what their test results say. One of them will be a food enzyme that they would take at the start of meals. The other 3 formulas are some kind of a digestive enzyme and or herbs and different types of whole food components, meaning from a bark, a root, a stem, a leaf. That's a whole complex nutrient versus synthetic things that you'll find in One A Day or Centrum or things like that, which are synthetic. They're just fragments of the whole plant.
Okay.
So we need to be eating whole complexes, not fragments.
Okay.
So 4 products. One's a food enzyme, and the other ones are some form of a healing enzyme, digestive enzyme, some kind of a herbal support that's going to help whatever that organ is.
Awesome. So share with us real quick one of your biggest success stories.
I can tell you the first one I think of right off the top is one of my patients is a teacher. At the time he was a teacher, now he's a private tutor. But he had spina bifida, so this is something that's congenital, happens when you're in utero. And it damaged his spinal cord and his growth so much so that his leg, one of his legs is about the size of his forearm as a grown man. Wow. It's about the size of his forearm, and the other leg is normal. So that injury that he was born with, right, created, an abnormality in how he grew. And his symptom, because the nerves of his lower back control the colon, he had a lot of urgent diarrhea. And it was a concern because he's teaching. You don't have much time between classes to get to the bathroom. You don't want to be speaking to your children, and all of a sudden you have to go, right?
Right.
So I did not know how well I was going to be able to help somebody that had a literally nerve-involved injury. But when I gave him the proper nutrition, all of his diarrhea, all that stuff was gone. He never had to worry about that ever again. And so that was easily my most fascinating story, because I was up against some, congenital anomalies here that it didn't matter. The right nutrition is what helped correct that as well.
Wow. And and people, I just don't think that they understand that. And I think, you can speak to this point too, but I think that we don't get the nutrition that we used to get out of things like we used to. Like, times have changed. The way that they grow the crops, the way that they process our foods, the amount of processed foods that we eat, we just don't get that nutrition that we need. So I think people need to come and see somebody like you, because they need to understand exactly what they're eating, how they're eating it, because we're not getting everything out of it that we need to. And your body needs to work as efficiently as possible.
100%. And the phrase, you are what you eat, that phrase, yeah. You are what you eat, is very wrong. It's you are what you digest. And to your point, Kim, just because you eat something that's healthy doesn't mean your body is actively and effectively breaking it down, transporting it, utilizing it, all of that. So the better statement is you are what you digest. And it's really, if I could just say, it's really all about energy, because no matter what, you have 6 components to food, and that is you have carbs, you have proteins, you have fats, you have vitamins, you have minerals, you have enzymes. Enzymes are not probiotics. Probiotics are bacteria. Enzymes are special proteins. But those are the 6 components to what makes up food. Nutrition is the science of food, right? So nutrition is where it's all at. And so if we're talking about giving the body energy, we need to be looking at carbs, proteins, fats, because out of those 6 things, only 4 give you energy. And that is carbs, proteins, fats, and enzymes. And what I'm saying to your listeners is that vitamins and minerals, they don't give you energy at all. Yes, they're important, but they're not the big heavy hitters like those other 4. So we're not eating enough of a nutrient, case in point, ketogenic people who are ketogenic nonstop, 24/7, 365. This is dangerous because you need to get energy from carbohydrates. That's what it's meant to be. Carbohydrates are the easiest to digest. So when I start seeing patients more and more and more who have been on the ketogenic diet for months and months and months and months, it's never a shock to me that they're so sickly, because they're avoiding fruit as if fruit is dangerous.
Right.
And it's just not the way it is. So to your point of, we need to be better about eating organic and maybe even take part in farming in our own backyard so we control what's going on with the soil and stuff like that. But we also need to make sure that we're not eliminating a macronutrient because it's trendy right now.
That's right.
That's the thing that's scary for me, is seeing what people are doing because they think they're doing something right, but they're doing something dangerous.
That's right. All right. Well, tell us, where can people find you? What's your website? Where can they find you?
Sure. My website is thedigestiondoctor.com.
Okay.
Thedigestiondoctor.com, all spelled out. And they can find me at thedigestiondoc pretty much on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. And then also my podcast, and that's Smart Digestion Radio.
All right, great. All right, well, thank you so much, Christine, for joining us today. I appreciate you taking your time out of your very busy schedule to be with us. Thank you.
It's always a pleasure. Thank you, Kim. I love speaking with you.
Me too, you. All right, if you have any questions or comments or would like to know more about the guest on our show today or information about Hello Gorgeous, feel free to contact me at kbecker@hellogorgeous.org or visit our website at www.hellogorgeous.org. We invite you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and download our mobile app. Thank you so much for joining us today on Hello Gorgeous, Everything Beauty, Cancer, and Inspiration. I'm your host, Kim Becker, and until next time, stay gorgeous.